Hello everyone. In this video I will be talking about my progress. First of all, I apologize for the weird microphone quality. This is pretty much as good as I can get it. I'm recording this right off the PS5. My PC microphone is a much better quality, but I am not gonna try to figure out if I can even set that up. But hopefully it's at least audible. Anyway, recently, just today in fact, I have gotten all but 2 perfects in the entire game. Now first things first, I know what you're thinking is, but there's all those not cleared and there's those 2 hard excellents. I am not counting those. If I did count those, I would have done them before making this. Simply put, I am not interested in the Mega Mix DLCs and the 2 hard ones from the Extra Encore DLC. I don't have that installed and I don't really feel like it. And as for the extra ones that are 1 clear and 1 great, so I have 120 out of 122. The only ones I don't have are Dem Paradigm and Intense Voice. And the reason I am not including these now, like as in the reason I'm not perfecting them before making this, is because well, pretty much they're too hard. I've only cleared the song once. And as for Dem Paradigm, it's just kind of a mess. And honestly, I feel like they're more unfair than actually challenging, but even if I didn't think they were unfair, they're still way too hard for me, above any of the other charts that this game has to offer. So, I will certainly upload if I ever do happen to perfect these, but that is not going to be for a long time. And what I'm trying to say is I am satisfied with where I'm at here. So even though it's technically not 100% every single song in the game perfected, it's close enough for me. I do gotta say, it feels nice to have all these perfects. I remember starting out, like, some charts, like, I just thought I would never be able to perfect these ever. This right here, Sadistic Music Factory, at one point I thought, no, there's no way I'm ever getting the perfect on this, but nowadays I actually think this is the easiest 10-star, and I think I've probably perfected this song about, like, at least 4 or 5 times. And some of that's just playing casually. Like, not to brag, that's just how it is. Anyway. And then other songs, like, I remember when I first started playing, like, this song, it was pretty much a coin flip on whether I got past that big drum roll in the beginning. But it turns out this ended up being one of the easier 9 stars for me to get the perfect on. Like, this was way more annoying. Granted, it's just because of that one part in the middle with, like, the slider, cross, slider, cross part. Which honestly, that's a load of nonsense. But I got it anyway. And, and, like, I think a big part of, like, what got me to be able to get all this is the immense amount of grinding I did for Disappearance, and finally, after so long of just grinding at it, I finally got the perfect, and I feel like that was just a huge, like, confidence boost. It's like when you beat a really high level enemy under-leveled and you get way more EXP than you normally would have. Like that's kind of what it felt like doing that. Like Like, I remember I had so many, like, greats and excellents here, and when I perfected Disappearance, I just went here and knocked out, like, 6 or 7 perfects in a row. First try. After all the trouble they'd been giving me. And then I was just able to slowly just work my way up to the 8.5s and the 9s and even the 9.5s. Remember and like even stuff like Rolling Girl, Unhappy Refrain, also sketch, just thinking, no, this is above anything I'm capable of. And those 3 songs gave me a lot of trouble, excuse me, especially Unhappy Refrain. That one was aggravating. But I don't feel like super like giddy about it or anything. Like, I think getting this perfect way back when and getting all the extreme perfects on their own got more of a reaction out of me. But yeah, it does feel very good to have come this far. Like if I can, yeah, like all easy, all normal, all hard, all extreme, and all but 2. Yeah. And if you're wondering, it took me 649 hours to get this far. I think I got the Dem Paradigm perfect, my last extreme perfect, at about, I want to say somewhere around 450 hours. And then getting easy, normal, and hard was relatively pretty easy. I only had a few speed bumps along the way. And then extra extreme was, well, extra extreme. And I guess if there's anything else I can add, like, I'm doing this pretty much improvised. Like, I have like all my ideas of what I want to talk about here. It's just I didn't write a script for this or anything, so I apologize for my stumbling about with my words. I guess one thing I would also like to go over is just like just advice to anyone who's just new to the game or is not new but like just can't seem to get the hang of things and stuff. Like, the obvious tips you'll get are just to keep practicing, which is very much true. Like, especially for Disappearance Extra, like, I had to grind that for... I think I grinded that on and off for about 6 months, from January to June of 2022. And, yeah, so practice is the most important thing. And then, of course, you have some tips that kind of where they make sense, but they come across more jokingly, like make sure to hit all the right notes at the right times and don't miss any. And I think that kind of proves that, like, it's kind of hard to give advice for a game like this because it all just comes down to just practicing and building up your skill. But if I did have to give a couple pieces of advice that can hopefully help someone even a little bit, one thing that helped me greatly with the extra extreme charts was to basically look at what I could do and eliminate all the weak links. So sometimes I would decide, okay, I'm going to grind Disappearance for 6 months, but generally speaking, like, when I wasn't doing that and it was time to focus on this, I would focus more on the 8 and 8.5s. I would, like, just play through them once, like, without practicing, and I would just think, like, okay, which of these is reasonable? Which of these can I easily do? Like for instance, like, between Magnet and in Ikotoba is much easier. Or Look This Way, Baby, like for a more recent example. And then once you get all those down, then soon you only have those hard ones left that just gives you a lot of trouble. And when you reach it to that point, then you have to figure out, okay, what's the easiest of these? And like the more you build up, like just the more skill you build up, these songs that seem like really hard are suddenly gonna become more manageable. And this kept going into like the 9 stars and even the 9.5s. Heck, this is why, like I originally was just gonna leave out Worlds and Dance Hall. I was just gonna have a 119 extra extreme perfects, but just because I was able to knock out so many of these 9.5s at once. By the time it only came down to Rolling Girl and Unhappy Refrain, I tried this out and realized, okay, I actually can do this. And, yeah. And, believe me, I tried Intense Voice and Dem Paradigm, and no. I am not getting perfects on them anytime soon. But, yeah, except for those insanely difficult stuff, I think eliminating the weak links will just help you naturally just progress. Another one, which, this is gonna be another one of those so obvious it sounds like I'm joking kind of things, is to focus, like, you almost want to focus more on the music than the actual, thing. Like, obviously pay attention to the notes, but if you think of it less as, okay, I need to hit this note here, and think of it more as, okay, I need to play, okay, the music has the music notes are there, so I have to basically tap to that. And yeah, it does sound like, wow, that's so obvious, and I mean, in a way it kind of is, but it's like, if you really get into that mindset, it might help you with, like, accuracy at the very least. Like, for instance, it kind of helped me get as high as I did with the score attack I did for the Secret Garden. And I think it has helped me a lot with just improving my accuracy. Like, if I perfected Betty the Liar like 5 years ago by some crazy stroke of luck, I'd probably have, like, I don't know, I'd probably have had like 80 finds from that instead of the 29 that I got. And then the last piece of advice I have is kind of going back to Disappearance. Sometimes when it comes to the harder stuff, but you really want that perfect, sometimes you do just have to grind for it. I was forced to do this with Dem Paradigm because it was the last one I had perfect to get all extremes. But yeah, just the more you grind, the more you'll understand, the more practice you're just getting in just from everything. But what you want to grind when necessary, though. Like, if it's getting to the point where you're getting too exhausted and frustrated over it, it is wise to take a break. In fact, I got the perfect on the Paradigm Extreme after taking a short break from the game for like a few days, because I'd been grinding for like almost 2 weeks, I think, and I just wasn't getting anywhere with it. And that's all the advice I have regarding that. Like I said, I know some of it's just like so obvious that it probably wouldn't be helpful, but like, if you really try to keep it in mind, maybe it'll help you. I mean, it's just what worked for me, and anyway, now that I've done all this and I'm not really interested in those last 2 perfects, what am I gonna do now? Simple. I'm going to start doing score attacks, mainly. In some cases, I'm just going to be just, like, cleaning up, like like percentages. Like I have some songs here where I have less than 100%, and I'd like to have at least 100% on all of them. But I also, within the past couple years, I've really gotten into score attacks. Like the Secret Garden is the biggest example. I'm at number 2 on the leaderboards, but other songs, Far Away, A Song of Wastelands, Forest of Magic, Dear Cocoa Girls, Velvet Arabesque, Tell Your World, what else? Updating My Love List, and there's a few others that I'd also been grinding for score attack at some point. But now I want to do that with as many charts as I can. I doubt I'm going to do it for every single chart, because like I don't know, maybe I'll just get really sick and tired of that, because there's a lot more precision that goes into stuff like that. But I'll definitely be doing score attacks for a lot of these, which should be interesting, because if you know anything about how these score attacks work, they can get very complicated. And yeah, that's pretty much just my plan. And then if I ever get to the point where I feel like I can actually somehow manage to get the last 2 extra extreme perfects, then I'll start grinding those out, I guess. And who knows, maybe one day in the future I'll be talking about how I've gotten everything in the game. Another thing I'd like to do from here on out, which I'm not... excuse me. Another thing I'd like to do from here on out is just to like do more like competitive matches with other players around or above my skill level. I've done plenty before, and they're a lot of fun, but I guess it's just kind of hard to do in this day and age when Sega doesn't feel like doing anything with the franchise, and the user base is pretty niche. But yeah, hopefully I do get more opportunities. I would love to just kind of keep going further and further if I can. And that's about all I have to say. If you made it through this entire video of me rambling on, thank you. And I hope you found this even a little interesting. I don't really know what else to say, so I think I'm just gonna end it here. And wow, this is already going on for 18 minutes. Yeah, I should just end it here. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.